This video report will cover the basic demographic information of Most Pure Heart of Mary Catholic School. I am Carrie Jo Gros, and this is for ALTC 805, Section VC. Some basic things to know about Most Pure Heart of Mary is that it is part of Topeka, Kansas, which is the capital of Kansas. Our local school district is USD 501, but we are a private school, so the school district that we are actually a part of is the Archdiocese of Kansas City. Now, this is a pretty large area that school district covers. So for the purpose of examining our community, I'm going to be comparing our demographic information with the USD 501 demographic information because it more accurately represents the community which our children live. The city of Topeka has 125,904 residents with a median income of $41,412 a year. The community of Most Pure Heart of Mary consists of 1,700 families, and there are 361 children enrolled in our school. When I spoke to the school principal about the community, he said that Most Pure Heart of Mary is a K-8 Catholic school in Topeka, Kansas. And this capital city is home to a little over 1,200 residents. Our city is highly diversified with pockets of wealth and poverty, and the economic base of the community is impoverished, with most of the public school students receiving free or reduced lunch. When we get down into the demographic information and some of the reports from the Kansas Department of Education, we'll see how diversified our students, the community in which our students live. And this statement from Mr. White really is a pretty good synopsis of the information that I'm about ready to review. A few other important things to know about Most Pure Heart of Mary is that it is a private school. So that changes some of the information that we have, and it makes our city look quite different than our actual school. When we look at diversity, we have to remember that it is a private school, so the people who are a part of our school are choosing to be a part of our school. And as the readings were discussing, culture a lot of times focuses around things like religion and shared beliefs. And because we are a parochial school, most of the families are there because of the religion aspect. And we're not going to get people who are choosing to come to our school who aren't really on board with those beliefs. So that makes a monotheistic view, and it also kind of, it makes our population a little less diversified. Now, Most Pure Heart of Mary is in a really great location. We're just southwest of the central of Topeka. It's a historic neighborhood with highly sought-after homes, and so there's a really established community based. There's multiple schools within our immediate area. There are two public schools. There's Whitson Elementary and Randolph Elementary, and each one of those have about 390 students. So within a mile, we have 3 elementary schools that are serving about 350 to 390 students each. That's a lot of children. So there are a lot of young families in our area. There are a lot of parks. There's a lot of things that you can walk to, and there's a lot of small local businesses. We also have a large number of students who come in from rural areas because our parish community is easily accessible off of the highway, and there are no Catholic schools in the rural areas. So we have some students who drive in from as far as 30 to 40 minutes each day. Recently, we've had a number of students who decided they were not going to come back to our school this year because of the pandemic, We have 40 students who are not returning. Most of them are doing either homeschooling or virtual school programs through the public school system. Now, on the other side of that, we had 20 new students enrolled. This change is really going to affect me as a teacher because we're going to have a big shift in just the culture of our community, because it's been a pretty small family. We have very small classes, and it's going to be just a big change. In addition to this, we have 15 students who are doing distance learning, so they're not going to even be in the classes. So our classes went from about 20 children each to some of the classes only have about 12. Which in some aspects is nice because it makes it easier to social distance, but it just greatly changes the dynamic of the school. The population of our school, as I said, is not terribly diverse. 77% of our students identify with themselves as Caucasian or white. In contrast, the local school district only has about 37% of white students. Special considerations, migrant students or students with disabilities. We do have 9% of our students with disabilities. We do not have the ability to have special education, but we have a contract with um, the neighbor school, so we do receive special education services from them. So we are able to accommodate more students with disabilities than most private Catholic schools would be able to do. So that gives us a higher number than most Catholic schools would have, but still much lower than the local school district, who has 20%. So if we look at just by the numbers, we have less than 1% of students who are of African American descent. We do have a pretty high number of Hispanic in our population. The local high number is much higher than the state, though. So in comparison, we're just about on average with the state. Our testing numbers look pretty good. We are almost equal with the state average for the level 4 mastery of the science, almost double of what the local school district does. Math, we've got 8.76% of our students receiving level 4 scores. A large percentage of our students, almost 50%, were in the level 2 category. Again, about even with the state in what they were, those scores on average. We have fewer students in the level 1 mastery category, so that's good. It shows, that our students are doing pretty well. English language arts, again, pretty even with the state, and better than the local school district. Social studies looks about the same, pretty even with the state. So our percentages in level 4, above, across the board, they're better than the local school district. Not usually too terribly better than the state, but that shows that our students are performing well. We're meeting the needs, and like I said, we have a partnership with 501 to accommodate those special needs students. And for those students who do need educators, there's a program that we can help get them educators. So while it's not in our funding, we have the resources to get those students what they need. After graduation, most of our students go to a private school, or they go to a public school and they end up in advanced classes. We have our students, make up about 50% of the local private Catholic high school. So we have the largest number of students from any of the local Catholic schools that end up going to the Hayden, which is the local Catholic high school. So upon reflection, when we look at the wide angle, our community, the community which we serve, is very diverse. And our school really does lack diversity when you look at ethnic backgrounds. But again, remember that's because it is a circled around a religious community, which is a monotheistic view, which means there's going to be less diversity because everybody is choosing it because of this. So it already by nature does not have that diversity. But our community, which our students are living and interacting with, is diverse. So while we don't look very diverse, our community is very diverse. So our students are being exposed to different cultures and seeing things, maybe not as much as the public school students are. That's the basic information for the demographics. Did go a little over time, and I apologize for that. I hope you enjoyed my presentation.